تو باز شما میبرید زیر میگیرن که بر شما موکافتای دائمی دارن برای چه که چیزای خوب هست برای اینکه برای کدام شهر ببینید که شما سر رو شما نگاه
I do not know.
But the only thing they told me, they said, is a hospital outside of Boston. I'm making you promise. All right. All right, you're my friend always. Oh, I know you got. I don't need anything big, believe me. On video, he doesn't need to see this.
She's like.
Yeah, and we can work that out. You'll just have to go, Zari. I like to have all you all on base. I mean, see you when I want to. Anything for you to teach? And what about for building a new Afghanistan? It's a woman-owned agency.
This is a good idea. She's going to buy from
Converting, like you're running to
She's pretty. She's Korean.
This is my family. I can get in touch with them.
We went out to visit the Parwan Dawa. She's a deputy Dawa, and pretty much that was the first time that Kentucky ADT or the previous ADTs had been able to go visit her. She invited us, so it was really an honor for her to do that. And usually we go out to the Dawa's compound, but today we were able to go and see another side of Afghanistan. It felt really good. It was scary at first because we didn't truly know where we were going, so we got to go and do a small foot patrol. People were very nice. In her area, they had school children that were close by, so they got to come by and visit, but it meant that we had built that relationship and a trust that she was able to invite us there and have lunch. The women of Afghanistan are very smart. I don't really have to teach them how to do agriculture. I don't really have to teach them to do anything. They just have to be empowered and have some knowledge of how to possibly do it better, have some of the funding available so they can get better materials. Backyard poultry is one of the things we discussed with them. Before the Russians were here or the Taliban, they had done backyard poultry for years. They didn't have to import their eggs from Pakistan. So what I'm able to do is just give them a lesson on how to raise chickens, vaccinations, how to properly care for them to get the best eggs possible. And with doing this, they can spread the knowledge, multiply the chickens, and have the nourishment that their children need, that the women need, and the men and their families need to have a better future, to possibly sell it, and to be healthier. The overall purpose is just to give the women hope, to empower them, to let them know that they can learn a skill and that they can train a trainer. If they learn a skill and they train a trainer, like the coin method, it's like an ink dot, and you can just slowly see it grow and connect to each other. So with these small missions and going out and helping them learn about poultry, beekeeping, is spreading the word to every one of the women and networking. And really, knowledge is power, but only if it's shared. So I'm trying to empower them with the skill set to learn how to do something and take that knowledge and share it with all the other women in their communities. Mainly the women I work with and we target, they are the widows, so they don't have male figures in their family. They are poor women who possibly have a male figure, but it could be disfigured or missing, arms or legs so they can't get out and do a lot of the hard work to make money, or they're women who want to start their own business. Rather than getting married at a very early age, they can possibly do a skill set and help sustain themselves so they can have a brighter future without having to get married at 13 or 14 years old. So these women learning these skill sets, it's not only to, you know, just empower their families, because the women who want to start their own business could possibly have their families, but it's to sustain themselves and help them eat and have something to live on. But with these women, they also have sisters, they have mothers, they have daughters who, you know, they may have male figures in their family, but they can teach them skill sets to the men as well. This isn't just for women. You can't clap with just one hand, you still need both. So with us teaching this, it helps, you know, sometimes bring families closer together. And you'll see less abuse, hopefully, in the families because of this. I've seen a huge difference. You know, when I first went out, I usually deal with the provincial government. I deal with the DAWA, the economics director. What I've seen is with our relationships growing with them, you know, they want to introduce me to more of the women that they work with. So I've seen more women come in, and when they, you know, they first see me and they get to know me, they just really open up. And when I go to other provinces, they've heard about possibly, you know, the work I've done with different DAWAs. So I've seen the network happening, and that's something that's very inspiring because it's something that you wouldn't think that happened in Afghanistan. So it's really, really neat to see that happen, but it warms my heart because we know it's working. It's not gone backwards, so anything that doesn't go backwards here is 10 steps above to where I thought I would be today. The coin mission that, you know, I just got back from, you have to have, you know, those relationships. You have to build it. The one thing that we're doing differently now that I've seen in the past is once you build that relationship, you don't leave it. You stand beside them. So the relationships, hopefully, that we build as a Kentucky ADT 1 is carried over to ADT 2, 3, 4, and 5. So, and that's one of the key things, is making sure that you have that consistency involved, and they know that we're just not going to leave here without making sure they have the skill set to move forward. The Afghan women are so used to seeing us in uniform, but I'll tell you a story today. We had went and had a meeting to talk about the poultry and the skills and the classes needed for the women. When we visited them today, they saw me, and where I'd met them before, you know, their burqas flew off and they wanted to learn. When we took pictures, they wanted to take a picture with my hat on, and they put a scarf on me. And it's really bonding because they see that now as us helping them, and they're not scared of the uniform. At least when I wear it, and when the other soldiers from our security forces are around, they treat them just like, you know, they were their brothers or their sons. They make sure they have food. But when they see us, you see the kids running out and waving. But I've never seen it as a deterrent at all, especially now that the women have got to know me. They like putting my hat on. So it warms my heart again to see that. Just since I've been going out and helping the women of the ADT, one of the small treasures is this is the first time in Afghanistan that AAFES is contracted with a female, is at the bazaar. So with the relationships that we have been able to establish with the Parwan and Kapisa Dawas, and Parwan Deputy Dawa, is they've opened their own shop on Bagram in the bazaar. So with them having their own keys to their shops, you could just see that in their faces. And because of that, more women are wanting to open their shops. More women feel empowered because just because they get a death threat, it doesn't mean it's the end of it. So they've been wanting to go and have their own shops, sell their own goods instead of having the males, you know, sell it for them. They can do it. So I've seen that attitude of, you know what, I can do this. I've seen other women do it. And so the women doing it now are the giants, and the women in the future will be able to stand on their shoulders. So it's amazing to see that. And hopefully in the future with the poultry project and the bees, they can open their own bazaars, and you can see the women out and have their own shops, and maybe one day they can sell their own products and just not do it from their home. And that's what my goal is, to make sure if these women want to have a shop, if these women want to make money, if these women want to provide something for their families, they will have that opportunity, and it will happen, hopefully, in the next 3 to 5 years. It's something that I've been able to stand on the shoulders of giants, of women who've came before me in the ADTs, and I couldn't have done this without them. And hopefully, you know, I've been able to provide something for the future ADTs, and we just keep on, you know, building this together. Not just the women of Afghanistan, but the women of the military, the women of USAID, the women of the USDA, just the women of NGOs, everybody, you know. So it's been a really an awesome opportunity for all of us to come together and do this, because without everybody and all the organizations, this wouldn't happen.